This is the UBox 12 streaming box. This is an international box from China. It's so international that when you go through some of the apps, it still has the Chinese writing on them. One of the advantages of this box is you can watch TV from all over the world. We call it IPTV, but this box uses proprietary apps, just like the Superbox, just like the VC box, and you can get certain channels on this box. So this is the On box. I already did a review on this box when I did a review on the VC box, but it raised a lot of controversy because a lot of people thought that this box was treated unfairly. They thought that side-loading apps is no different than the proprietary apps that you get on one of these boxes. As a matter of fact, a lot of people thought it was a ripoff because these boxes can cost $300, sometimes $400, and you can get one of these between $30 and $55. But there's a problem. And the problem is that ONN, NVIDIA Shield, Fire Stick, Google, they don't want anything to do with pirate streamed TV. So starting in 2026, they're going to be stopping the side loading on these boxes. So if you have an ONN box, it may no longer work for side loading, or you may have to get an older model with the apps already on it. I'm not too sure how they're going to deal with that situation. But I do know that future models will not have side loading because they don't want their company to have anything to do with pirate streaming software. So where does that leave you if you want to watch movies that you normally were watching before with those side loaded apps? Well, that brings me back to boxes like the UBox 12. So you will pay more for this box, but it will work. And it will also work a little better because it has proprietary apps. So they should run a little bit smoother. Now, there is the other controversy that these boxes have better processors, more RAM. Some of them, like the NVIDIA Shield, have the Tegra X1 processor, which is a really nice processor. But does that processor do you any good if you're trying to watch those movies and you can't get it to work? Well, again, you're going to need one of these. So you see where I'm going with this. So if you have a Fire Stick, or you have an NVIDIA Shield, or you have one of these ONN boxes, either this one or the Pro, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to watch this video. If you'd like to have a box that works, and one that will continue to work after the year 2026, well, keep watching because you're watching Blue Collar Guy. Okay, we're back. So we are discussing the issue with pirate streaming boxes and side-loaded apps. So a lot of those side-loaded apps that you put on one of these boxes, and I've done it with this one, it's called jailbreaking it or side-loading it or whatever you want to call it. They're considered malware by NVIDIA Shield. They're also considered malware by ONN and Fire Stick. They do not like these apps. The biggest problem that they have is that you can watch Netflix and other shows in those side-loaded apps, and these companies do not want to have that reputation. In other words, they only want you to use apps where you have a paid subscription. They do not want you to watch any apps where it is a pirated or considered illegal. So this is where the gray area comes up. So in certain countries, there are different rules on how you can watch streamed videos. There's also different penalties in different countries. Now, we're not going to discuss ethics here. So ethics is something that should be left to professors, maybe your clergymen, but here we're just talking about what is legal and illegal. So in the United States, it is illegal to stream copyrighted content. It's also illegal to download it. It's also illegal to share it. It's also illegal to be in possession of it in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, you can get a $250,000 fine and you can face imprisonment for doing so. Now, when you get one of these boxes and you're in different countries, well, the rules can change. For instance, if you're in Russia, it is perfectly fine to watch pirated movies. You don't even need a VPN to mask your identity. If you're in a country like Canada, which is where I am, it is not a criminal offense. It could be a civil offense. It's only really in relation if the content is Canadian broadcast content. Now, they have prosecuted people for non-Canadian content, but the fine is not to exceed $5,000, and it is a civil matter and not a criminal matter, which makes Canada a lot less strict than the United States. So this is why these boxes can be sold. It's not illegal to buy one of these boxes. However, once you start downloading those apps and you start using it, it is no different than if you have a computer and you're using your computer in an appropriate way or an inappropriate way. They still sell you the computer, but if you use it in the wrong way, well, you could face jail time, you could face fines. You get where I'm going with this. All I recommend is that you consult the laws of your country because it varies from country to country. And as far as ethical concerns, whether it's right to do it or wrong to do it, well, that's up to the individual. So if the individual feels comfortable doing it and they want to face consequences of doing it, well, that's completely up to them. I am not here to teach you how to be ethical or unethical. I am a product reviewer. I just review products. I show you what they are, and then it is up to you whether you purchase them or not. It is up to you in your behavior and how you use them. But I'm just showing you that yes, this is what it is, and this is how it works. And because I'm in Canada, I can show you a little bit more than if I was in the United States. However, because this is a YouTube channel, I do have to follow YouTube's guidelines. So the reason why I don't show logos and video and I blur a lot of things out, because YouTube is owned by Google and it is American owned. And therefore, I have to follow those guidelines when I show you the content. So if you've ever watched another review of one of these boxes and you've seen logos like Netflix and things like that, they do not want to be associated with these type of boxes. So technically, they could get deleted, they could get their channel in a lot of trouble for showing you those things. So if you want to know why I'm being more restrictive on my channel, it's because I am just following those guidelines. But I can tell you if the device works or not. And I also can refer you to websites and things like that where you can go to and you can check them out in the future. But as far as actually showing you the content, I can't do that. And that's because of YouTube's guidelines. So if you have an issue with that, it's not with me, it would be with YouTube. So let's go to the downward shot and take a look at this box and see what you get in the box. There we go. And this is a keyboard / trackpad mouse. This is so if you want to type in the name of movies and things like that, you want to do your searches, they've included this with this box so that you don't have to sit there and click A and B and C. It takes a lot longer. This also comes with a dongle that fits with the box and it pairs up immediately. Now, I've noticed that none of these come with batteries, but that's not a problem. I have batteries. I'm sure you do too. Okay, so let's start with this, and then we're going to go to the other device, the keyboard, and we'll see what's in there. So I've already taken it out to take a quick look at it. Now, I do want to show you this, because this is an international box, and you get all of the channels from around the world on this box. Now, they also wanted me to mention that they have a specific app with nothing but adult content. So I'm going to repeat that. They have an app that has nothing but adult content. I have no idea how much adult content. I'm not a user of adult content myself, but I am required to let you know that they have adult content on one of their apps. Now, before I take this out, I'm just going to go back to me very quickly. So before we begin, I just want you to know that this video is not sponsored. They did send me this box at no cost so that I could test it and that I could show you what it does. But that is it. I do not get a commission if you buy one of these boxes. I do not want a commission. So I have no paid affiliate links, and they did not pay for the production of this video, and this video is not scripted. Okay, and if you've seen my other videos, you know that my videos are definitely not scripted. Now, if you're new to the channel, I also don't ask for membership fees. So if you sign up for my channel, I'm not going to harass you for any money or say if you want to watch a certain video, you got to pay $2.99 a month. There's no funny business on my channel. I just do reviews, you watch the reviews, you tell me what you think about the video, if you like it, if you didn't like it, and if you do like it, please hit the like button and share the video with your friends. But if you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down button. I can handle it. Leave me a comment. Just be respectful in your comments. That's all I ask. And watch the video to the end, because that is the only way that I get paid. I get paid by YouTube for you to watch the video, and that's it. This is why I don't ask you for membership fees or Patreon or ask me to buy me a coffee. That's why I don't do any of that. I get paid by YouTube, and that's it. So let's continue on. We're going to go back down to the downward shot, get this out, and see what you get. Okay, so it is packaged really well. It is made of plastic, and it is definitely an international box because I see Chinese writing here. It's very difficult to see. I'm going to have to go to the other camera. So maybe you can see it easier from here, but it is very difficult to read. But it says Unblock Tech, because that's the name of the company, and I'm sure that the Chinese writing here is the same thing. It even has wall mountable mounting points. I don't know why that is, but that's what that is. And yeah, it says it's model 19 Pro Max. Takes 5 volts, 2 amps. And I'm going to go back to the downward shot so we can get a closer look. So I'm just going to block the serial number with my fingers because I don't think you need to see that. And there's a QR code they have. I guess that's in case you have any problems. And this is the number 12. Now there's not a lot of videos on this particular model. I checked. So this is going to be a new experience for you. Now over here we have an AV jack, we have HDMI in, this is to connect to your Ethernet, and this is to put that dongle in so that when you want to use that keyboard you can, and this is your power supply input right here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can get a better look at that. There we go, and we'll focus. Let me just get this in better focus for you. There we go. So this is if you have cables like, you know, those RCA jacks. And this is HDMI. This is for your Ethernet. This is for that dongle. And that's your power supply. Over here, there's nothing. But there is lighting that goes all the way around the bottom. That's probably your connection lighting. On this side, you have another dongle jack, I guess, or for storage if you want to put pictures or whatever. And this is a TF or micro SD card reader, so you want to put photos or play videos or play them back through here, you can. And there we go. Now there is 2 types of Android operating systems, and I think this one's called AOSP, which is the kind that these guys use, and other Chinese boxes do the same thing. This is your instructions, and yes, a lot of it is in Chinese, and it kind of goes over the remote. So okay, so very good boxing, by the way. Like this is, you can tell there's a remote, this is cables, so very well done on the boxing. And over here we have some more writing. This is all Chinese. This is your standard, this is just regular. And there's some English up here, which is good for me. It tells you learning function, press and hold the power button. Learning key for 5 seconds. Okay, so this is how you pair it. It's a Bluetooth remote, so that's how you pair it. And it gives you the instructions on how to download apps and all that other good stuff. There's a remote. No batteries, by the way. And in here, we're going to have cables. So let's get this out of the way. And I'm going to back up a little bit now and get more of this in the shot. We're going to get these out. So, oh, it's white. Sometimes the colors don't match, and these ones do. So, if you're into color coordination, and you like things that look nice, this might be your guy. Also, it'll show less dust. White tends to show less dust. So, if you deal with a lot of black electronics, well, that's one of the issues. It's hard to keep clean. Even the HDMI cable is white. How about that? Now, that's something you don't see every day. That's a keeper there for sure. It's also a good way to identify where your cable's plugged into. So instead of having 10 HDMI cables, the same color, well, now you know which one is plugged into here. And here we go. So we've got a voice remote. There's app, there's a gear. So obviously that's for your settings. It feels pretty good, not too bad. I'm going to compare it with other remotes because I have the ONN remote and they feel pretty much the same, I guess. Not too bad. This one might feel a little bit better, but not too much. It's very similar. Okay, get the batteries. And of course, I will take batteries out of something else to put in there because we're going to hook this up and see what it can do. And there we go. Put that battery in there like so. Very straightforward. Yeah, it's very straightforward. And then this gets plugged in, and then that will get plugged in for that. So I'm going to go and do some testing on this box now, and then we're going to come back here, and I'm going to show you my results of what I think about this. But before we do that, there is one other device we need to take out, and that's this guy here. And now the plastic on this one isn't the greatest, but it does do what it needs to do. But I notice that when I feel it, it feels a little bit on the cheap side. However, I have gone on Amazon and there's a lot of these, and the only one that I seen that looked like it was higher quality was worth over $50. So this isn't one of those, but you can upgrade to one of those if you feel that this one's not good enough. But it does have RGB lighting, and I do know that it will work. So, but yeah, it's not like super high quality or anything like that, but it is nice that you get a keyboard, and that is a bonus because a lot of companies like ONN, like these guys here, they don't have a keyboard. So you are paying a premium for this, but remember, and I'm just going to go back to me for a sec. So these boxes are not inexpensive. They cost between $300 to $400. I'm going to get you the price in the description so that you can see for yourself. Now there may even be a promotional code to save you some money. But the reason why they are that price is because those proprietary apps that are in here belong to this company. They're not the kind that you find when you go to sideload. It's not the same thing. So they charge a premium for those because they have servers that are linked to those apps. So when you go to side-loaded apps, they are being monitored at a server that who knows who's watching after that server. In other words, that server is pretty much open season for everybody. But companies like this, they have their own proprietary apps and they also monitor their own servers. So they have their own servers. So it's not just the apps, it's the servers that they have linked to these apps. And the reason why they put certain software on there, in other words, software to defend those apps, is because they know that if somebody was to extract those apps and share those apps or copy those apps, those servers would get overloaded and then everybody would be using them and then they would lose a lot of money. As a matter of fact, it could totally crash their system. So they don't want that, so they tend to do things and take measures, just like other companies do, like Superbox and VCBox. They put on special software to make sure that those don't get extracted. In other words, if you try, you'll end up just bricking your box. So, and bricking means it'll be inoperable at that point. So whatever you do, do not try to extract those apps, or you might have an inoperable box. So it's a one-time fee. You buy the box, you get all of the movies, everything, and in this case, a lot of adult content for free after that. So it's a one-time purchase. Let me do my testing, and then we're going to come back here, and I'm going to show you how I got it set up, and then we're going to go from there. But I will need to test this for a while and see if I run into any problems, and if I do, I'll have to contact the company and see if I can resolve those problems, and I'll let you know if I run into any issues. Pull up one, and now let's put me in the corner. There we go. And okay, so you've got popular, favorite, you've got, this is customer support, you've got more apps, there's a browser, and what is this? The app market. There's your browser. And down here, and I've just got to take me off, and you've got system boot, settings, more customer support, file manager, and uninstalling apps. So if you've got apps that you want to just get rid of, you can do that. So I'm going to go to popular. And now we've got UBox Live, Video on Demand, UPTV, These are UBox's proprietary apps, and they've got HD Theater as well. But I don't think HD Theater is a part of it, but I do believe all of these ones that say UP are part of UBox. Okay, so I had to click on the remote. So this is the Chinese I'm talking about. So this is USA. So I'm in USA, and then if I'm going, anything, by the way, anything with logos, I'm going to have to block out. But the nice thing about this box is I don't have to block out any logos because I don't use any logos. But when I click on this, it's going to show me footage of, it's going to have to blur this out. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go here. But as you can see, now this is the snappiness I want to get to. So if I change channels really fast, I just want to show you how quickly it changes channels. Now they do have a backup channel, just like Superbox and VCBox, but you know, there is also a lot of other, and the subtitles are also they're also in Chinese, just so you know. Well. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to get into other things. So sports, it's not huge on sports. There is a lot of Chinese sports like this one here. I don't think I'm going to have any copyright problems with this one, so I can show you this one. So if you're into international TV, so if you were from China or you speak Mandarin, or you are of international descent and you're living in North America, this box is going to be very appealing to you. See? but it is very snappy, and I will give them that. It functions well. And I think part of the thing is too, is that in China, they would expect nothing less from, like, there's so much competition of their own products on their home soil that it's going to have to work well, you know, because they would get a lot of complaints, and, you know, reputation is very important in China as well. So the fact that this is a Chinese box from China, well, you know, and okay, so let me just see, like, here's Chinese TV here, and they've got English there, and then you know, you've got some other Chinese programming here and things like that. So yeah, it's and the picture quality is not bad, you know. There's Japan, Korea, so if you want to see some Korean TV, you can. Now I'm assuming this is South Korea, because I don't think I'm going to get North Korea, but you know, this is, you know, you can watch stuff from all over the world, which is kind of cool. You know, here's Canada. Now, obviously Canada is, you know, I have to be careful of copyright rules in Canada, but you know, they've got a lot of the main channels. And France, Germany. There's Germany. And usually within an hour or two, it's back up and running again. Because again, they have really good customer service. Here's Italy. So I'm showing some stuff from around the world because, you know, there's people from Italy living in Canada, United States, you know, there's Philippines, you know, they got Australia. Not a lot of stuff from Australia, but, you know, they got, you know, the Asian markets, Thailand, you know, got some Thailand channels. Like, it's really interesting watching a lot of these shows all over from all over the world, you know, especially their movies and things like that. And Indonesia. So, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, I can't show content. Well, now I can show a little bit, you know, this is stuff from around the world. So Vietnam, there's Vietnam. Oh yeah, there it is. There was a bit of a delay on that one. It's probably not that good of a channel. There's another one. Australia, Turkey, Brazil, India. So I have a lot of people from India that subscribe to my channel. So we're going to give them a treat here. There's some Indian TV. So if you're from India and you're living in Canada, well, you can watch a lot of your shows with one of these boxes. So it's going to be very appealing to a lot of people. And the private collection, that's the adult movie. So they did want me to mention that they have adult movies. I'm not going to show the adult movies, but a lot of them are of, you know, with Asian women, of course, because the box is from China. So if you're into that sort of thing, well, they've got that too. Now, I'm going to get out of here. They got QR codes. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to mention. So I'm going to go back to me. Let me just put there, and I'm just going to go back to here. Whoops, take me off here. Okay, so one thing I want to mention is that they have like, you can scan a QR code, you can put an app on your phone, and you can actually watch these channels on your phone using that QR code. That's something that you don't get with other streaming boxes, which is unique to this one. That and the VPN. So the VPN, that's kind of a big deal, because I paid $250 for 2 years for a VPN. This is included with the box, and it boots up with the box, and it's very snappy. Like, it's always there. Now, it is a VPN that I'm not familiar with, so that's the only downside. But it is a VPN. They have actually two. They have a DNS where you can change the DNS, and they have another one. But the The one, I'm going to show you what that one looks like, just so that you know. And, you know, it doesn't let you pick the different cities or like around the world. It's basically locked into a specific server. So I'm going to show you that too. It is called, where are you? UB Tunnel. There we go. So this is UB Tunnel. And it's running right now. So I can pause it. It's on global settings and it's on HK2. So I'm guessing Hong Kong #2 server. And they're using, looks like TW2. So I'm thinking those are from Taiwan. And it's got 4 from Taiwan and 4 from Hong Kong. And it just picks whatever one it is. So, you know, and you can do updates on it too. So do I think it works? Yeah, I do, but I'm not familiar with it, and if you don't trust it, well, that's up to you. Now, I did put the NordVPN on here. However, I did notice that it doesn't want to run as long as this one's on there. So I haven't quite been able to get around that issue. But this one here, it boots up, it runs right away, no issues. You know, like it's you know, if you're looking for one of these streaming boxes with a built-in VPN where you basically pay one fee, get a VPN, get everything you need, this is going to be your guy. Now on favorites, we've got UP Cinema, and I'm going to click on that. And again, you get one of these Chinese screens, and this is live TV. And this is movies. So if I click on this one, and then you've got movies. Now I have to block out a lot of the logos and the type of movies. And the reason why I have to do that, and I'm just going to go back to me really quick. So I'm really sorry that I have to do that, but it is the same problem that ONN and Fire Stick and things like, you know, NVIDIA Shield. So those companies with those logos do not want to be affiliated with pirate streaming boxes. It is actually not legal for me to even associate them or put the two together on YouTube, because they can complain that saying, hey, I didn't want to be on that streaming box, and they did that, not me. I did not give permission for that. So I have to block out those movie posters. I have to block them out. Again, I'm not a lawyer. So let me just go back to the screen. And now I'm going to go back to home. I'm going to go back to popular. And I'm going to go to video on demand because this is new. We can open it up. And then I have to click on, yeah, there we go. And this is movies. Now I blocked out the one movie. And if I scroll over here to the very right, they've also got this one with the heart. Now that Secret Cinema, that is adult movies. So, and I can't show you that one. They got cartoon animation. They've got Cantonese movies. They've got children's movies. They've got variety. And there's film. And this is the film. And as you can see, it's all categorized, you know, recent releases, everything like that. And again, I just have to go back to me really quickly. So you can watch movies that are still playing at the theater. And the difference between this box and, let's say, the VC box, which you can also do that with the VC box, but they will have a word called Cinema City or whatever, and it kind of bounces around the screen, and it's called CAM, C-A-M. That means someone filmed it with a camera in the theater illegally, and then they streamed it. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, but that's what CAM means. I know it's kind of silly. But the difference is on this box, you don't get any of that, and it doesn't look like it was filmed with a camera. It looks like it was recorded from the movie itself. I was even able to get it up to the 4K level by playing around with the settings. And it's not easy to navigate the settings. So piece of advice I'll give you is when you're navigating this box, and instead of me showing you step by step, because that's just going to be more confusing, you take your smartphone, you put it on Google Translate, you hit the camera, go into the camera app. And then as you're looking at the Chinese words, you can go to translate, and then it will show you what, you know, if is it in 4K, is it in HD, is it in standard def? It'll translate it for you, because those settings are 100% Chinese. And that is the only way you're going to get it set up. Now, once you get familiar with where everything is, you know, it's going to be like, well, this is always on the left and this is always on the right. It's not so bad. Like, I was able to navigate it, but it's not intuitive. So, you know, I'm going to be honest about that. It's not intuitive. So going back, you can have different categories here, and you can search too. They've got the latest releases. So if I click on latest releases, these are all the latest releases. And of course, I've got them all blocked out. So again, I apologize, but that's just the way it is, you know. So I've got to do it. I'm going to take me off the corner just so that I can give you the categories, because these I can show you. And as I scroll down, now it's got these all in English because I've got it in English mode. So that's, by the way, I think that's an update. But if you look at the top where it says latest release, there's Chinese, you know, writing right beside that. So it does. They are trying to, I guess, put more English on there, but as you can see, this is a hardcore Chinese box. Now, you know, it is definitely, you know, like, definitely, you know, and I can show you this one, I believe, because this is strictly straight up Chinese. I'll just show you a few seconds of each one, you know, put myself in the corner there. So yeah, but that's it. And let me just see, I'm going to go back here again. Now back to this app market. So they have Strawberry TV. This is, I believe, adult stuff, HD movie theater, and we've already got that one loaded. So this is what it looks like. And again, it's got movies, and then Secret Cinema, which is adult movies, and live TV. And it's basically a copy of a lot of the other ones. So you can, I'm just going to take myself off the corner. So these ones are a little bit, you know, if I go into, these are all Asian movies. So it's got a lot of Asian stuff. I think this is Korean. Yeah, Korean movies. So a lot of international things. And I'm just going to go back here again, and then more apps. And of course, you know, you can get the Play Store. And these are apps that you'll have to have your login, because you'll have to have paid subscriptions for. So they're not going to be free. Now they do have a Smart Tube, which is like YouTube, but it's not. So, you know, I was able to find my channel on there, which was kind of funny. And then gallery, of course, yeah, that's for that SD, that micro SD card slot, so you can look at pictures and videos on there if you want. And then they got UP Movie and things like that. So they're always adding things. So I think that pretty much wraps up the what this box is all about. So I'm going to just go back to me, and okay. Okay, so that's pretty much what this box is all about. And, you know, the nice thing about this is that it's very snappy. And even though it doesn't have the same processor as, let's say, an NVIDIA Shield or even an ONN box, like I've got one of their boxes, it's got DDR3 memory, which is not as good as what we have now, You know, the latest boxes I think are running DDR4 at the very least, or 5. I don't know if these are 5 out now, but so this is not the latest memory by any means, but it's the apps. My point is that when you use side-loaded apps on an ONN box, or an NVIDIA Shield, or a Fire Stick, and you jailbreak it, so to speak, it's not going to run as fast the minute you've done that. It will run faster when you're running paid subscription apps. And beginning in 2026, they're going to be changing that. So the UBox 12 is going to be very, very popular, because those boxes, even though they're a lot cheaper, they're just going to be bricked. You're not going to have them function. And a lot of people are probably yelling at their TV saying, nah, it's not going to happen. Well, it could. You could turn on your box one day, it's going to do an update. All of those side-loaded apps like FlixVision and those apps, they're just not going to work anymore, because those companies have clearly said they do not want to be associated with pirated streaming apps. Period. They have publicly said that, they have put it in writing, and they're going to be dealing with it. So you might get lucky if you have an older unit, it may still work, but if you go to the store and you buy a unit after 2026, there's a good chance it's not going to work. You're going to be taking a bit of a gamble. And that's where these Chinese boxes are going to become more popular. So even though people are saying, well, they're too expensive, how expensive do you think they're going to get when that happens, when that rule comes down? And Google and Fire Stick and NVIDIA Shield and all of them just go, and all of the people that were streaming those apps are all of a sudden going to be left out. I'd be like, you know what? Maybe you should have a backup, because these boxes aren't going to do that. They're not going to shut down their proprietary apps. So if you're looking at UBox 12 or Superbox or VCBox or one of those boxes, you're probably going to be just fine. As a matter of fact, you are going to be just fine, because their whole income depends on you buying those boxes. So the thing that I like about this box is it comes with a VPN, and it's very snappy. So those apps, a lot of it has to do with how the apps run on the hardware, and these apps run pretty good on that hardware. Now, the things I don't like about it is that even though it has a lot of North American channels, it doesn't really have all of the North American content. So, you know, if I want to watch reruns of Three's Company, like through all the 24/7 channels where you can get like Knight Rider and all, it doesn't have that. You know, they could add that, but it doesn't have it right now. And it also doesn't have all of the movies. So one thing I will let you know is that every single box that I have tested, usually there's something it doesn't do, something it can't do. And that seems to be the situation with this one as well. Now, I also tested this keyboard, and I found that it wasn't really all that necessary. It was nice that it came with the box, and I did use it. It comes in handy if you want to type in the title of a movie. But you also have mouse mode on here, and you can kind of do the same thing like I was doing with the other boxes. So it's okay, but not necessary. If I was from Italy or Spain or someplace else and I was living in North America, I would probably run to this box. I would say, this is going to be my box. I would probably get another type of box on top of this one, but I like this. If I had to really put a label on this box, I would call it the ham radio of streaming boxes, because you get all over the world and you can see many different types of cultures. I'm a very cultural person. I like to look at how the rest of the world's kind of doing, and I like to see things. And sometimes you'll see something on, let's say CNN, they'll say, oh, there's a big, you know, earthquake or natural disaster in India. They give you like a 3-minute blurb of it, you know? And if you ever wanted to do a deeper dive, well, geez, if you had one of these, you could literally, because it's going to be more prevalent on their local news is what I'm getting at. So works with recording devices like the Cloner Alliance, just so you know. So if there's anything you wanted to record from the box onto that, I was recording and it looked like it was picking everything up. So I will leave you, and I will leave something in the comments if I didn't get that. But I will be doing a review on the Cloner Alliance Box Pro Pocket. On that note, take care, be safe at work, and I will see you at the next video. Bye.